Action in NPL Victoria, and this is a battle of two big hitters. Melbourne Knights, 2 wins out of 3 to start the campaign against a Bentleigh Greens team that, after winning the Community Shield, have reeled off a perfect 3 wins from 3 in their NPL season so far. They come into tonight in excellent form, free scoring, and really looking like an excellent side and one to be dealt with and contended with this year, even though they are going to lose their coach John Anastasiadis mid-season. So let's go to the teams. Teo Pellizzeri is my name, and Josip Herzog, my co-commentator. So that's your commentary team. For Melbourne Knights, the home side: Harry Chukarun in goal, 2 Luke Jurcic, 5 Aiden Bryce, 6 Tomislav Uskok, 8 Jean Albano, 9 Hamish Watson, 10 Marian Svitkovic, 11 Nikola Jerkovic, 12 Corey Sewell, 19 Anthony Dugel, and 27 is Joey Frunjic. For the Bentleigh Greens, their goalkeeper Ryan Scott, number 2 Matthew Crooks, 5 Jack Webster, 7 Josh Baresi, 8 George Lambateridis, 10 Tyson Holmes, 11 James Exidius, 14 Marko Jankovic, 15 Valentino Yule, the form man in the league right now, 18 Matt Thurtell, and 23 Velibor Mitrovic. On the benches for Melbourne Knights: Jordan Gifkins, Tom Potteridis, Ivan Gergic, AJ Inia and Attila Offley. And for Bentleigh, Nathan Coe, Jacob Alexander, Charlie Fry, Brody Taylor and Arnold Sayev. Tonight's officiating crew: Michael Mammis, your central referee, Ross Clark and Jordan English, the assistants, and Garth De Silva is the 4th official. So those are the basics. To give us a bit of colour and insight and a prediction is Josip Herzog from the Croatian Herald. Josip, great to have you back.
Thank you very much, Teo. Good to be back again at this beautiful stadium. Prediction: I feel like Bentleigh may take the edge tonight. I mean, they've given 2 of their oppositions 3 goals, and they've given 1 of their oppositions 4. So it's going to be tough for the Knights to find a way to stop Bentleigh from going forward. I mean, Valentino Yule is the obvious threat there last week, scoring 1 with his left, 1 with his right. I believe you said he's got 4 already this season of the 3 games he's played. So it's going to be a fantastic contest. I'm very excited for it. But I'm very interested, like I said, to see how the Knights are going to stop the massive attacking threat from Bentleigh.
I think many will be, and the predictions in the comments. We are live and interactive on Facebook. Michael says Bentleigh 3-0. Crab says 4-0. So I think the away team are going to be hard to stop tonight as we kick off at Knights Stadium. Round 4 action is underway. There is one other game on tonight. That is Pascoe Vale versus Port Melbourne at 8:15. And as Corey Sewell clears onto the head here, and the little shuffle forward from James Exidius, now at ground level. And then Valentino Yule already proving tricky. Can't quite evade Luke Jurcic on this occasion. And now Joey Frunjic to Marian Svitkovic. And that's neat work from the Knights to play out of defence. Tomislav Uskok to Anthony Dugel. And now Nikola Jerkovic back to Aiden Bryce at the centre of defence. I'll get your prediction for Pascoe Vale versus Port Melbourne. That'll be Chris Gleeson and Joey Lynch, your call team on the YouTube channel and Facebook in half an hour. Josip, who do you think will win that one?
I'm going to say Pascoe Vale at home is going to get the edge. 2-1's my prediction.
Of course, you called Pascoe Vale last week. So we see Knights into the area already. Frunjic. Oh, what a chance for Watson. He looked at the ball rather than connected with it. And that was teasing beyond his eyes. He just couldn't make contact.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, it was a great ball by Frunjic, and Watson looked at it, and I just thought he was going to leap for that diving header to put it into the to put it back into the back of the net. But like you said, he just sort of looked at it and went past him.
Barely
good opportunity there.
Not even a minute 10 on the clock, and that would have been a perfect start for the home team here, Melbourne Knights. Good signs for them that they were able to just cut through the Bentleigh defence like that. Now Ryan Scott will get a touch under a little bit of pressure as Watson chases him and plays it out to Exidius. It's almost unrecognisable with a regular haircut compared to the long hair he had last year, to the point where I'm actually starting to doubt whether it's even him. So he's got the throw underneath us here. Josh Baresi, fantastic against his old team, Green Gully, last weekend. Tyson Holmes, the gold medalist, of course. Best and fairest player in the competition in 2018. Can confirm it definitely is James Exidius. I just do not recognise him after last season when he had a bit more of a ponytail style arrangement going. Scored that sealing goal in the cup final, the Doherty Cup, to secure Bentleigh a 2-0 win and get the trophy.
Yeah, he's always been an interesting player. I mean, I've played against him in my juniors. I used to play for the Knights, and he used to play for Keilor Park. And he was in that golden.
Watson rolls his man, shots on here, tried for the outside of the right boot rather than his left, and that means it's been blocked.
Yeah, he was in, as I was saying, he was a part of that golden generation from Keilor Park, the one that made it all the way to China in that under-15s Manchester United tournament, where he got to play against Santos and Inter Milan and all the likes of, you know, the big players. He even got to play against Marcus Rashford, incidentally.
Wow.
Manchester United. So I was very jealous because we finished in we got knocked out in the semi-finals to that Keilor Park team, and then to see them go.
Was it close in the semi-finals?
No, it wasn't.
So at least it's not what could have been.
Yeah. Look, it was a tough game, but I had Nikola Jurkovic on my team that day. I had Luke Jurcic on my team that day. So it's very good to see that, you know, players that have come through the ranks while I was playing are actually playing in NPL this season. And
well, here is Exidius again now on the ball, and he's shimmying past Frunjic, taking on Saul. Oh, he's nutmegged him. Can he finish here? No. The ball just got away from him, and Chakarun dived in at his feet. But, well, we were talking him up, and maybe his ears were burning because that was a beautiful piece of skill.
Yeah, it was great to see him go through there. I was surprised the legs were open, but he's found a way through, and just a bit of a heavy touch. Good read by Chakarun.
Corey Sewell will be grateful for his goalkeeper, keeping him out of the highlight reel, you would say.
Yeah.
Now, Knights with Jerkovic to Svitkovic. Speaking of gold medalists, of course, he and Holmes, battle of two fine players head-to-head in the centre of the park. Now Jerkovic with a long ball that Jack Webster is going to have covered. Under a bit of pressure, though, being chased by John Albano. Keep the comments coming. Noah says 2-1 Knights win, and Glenn says 4+ Bentleigh. Wow. So everyone is expecting goals tonight, that's for sure. One thing about this matchup, Josip, is home ground advantage has rarely mattered. I've seen Knights win away at Bentleigh. I've seen Bentleigh come here and win in the past. As Watson is going to be gifted possession here, and then he slid it across the area only to have it intercepted by Crooks. And now Crooks with a quick 1-2. Oh, he's been collected by Jerkovic, and that is the sort of fearsome challenge that Nikola Jerkovic lives on.
Yeah, you're right. He always does sort of. I feel like he's starting to get away with having that nickname of always coming in and not being scared to challenge, and I feel like he sometimes gets away with it early in the game. As we saw there, he came in. You see both feet showing. Do you feel like the referee didn't give a yellow because of the earliness, or
didn't even give a foul? So possibly Michael Mammis is today's whistleblower, a referee I rate very highly. I don't disagree with his call. It did look pretty wild as Duzel, back from suspension this week. Uskok following up, hunting his second goal of the season. And now Corey Sewell. Out to Jurcic, who has escaped on the left. He's slowed down here by Exidius, who guards him and puts it behind for a corner. And Melbourne Knights have had some good signs in the early stages. Andrew says Knights with eight youth products in the squad. Can any other team match that in the top flight? Melbourne Knights are a club that tends to hold on to a lot of its juniors, so not a surprise there.
Yeah, that's one thing they've been good at being able to do. But there have been many players that have come through the ranks and haven't made it to the team. So probably the question is there, could the Knights do even better and maybe have 11 youth products?
Albano concedes possession here. Crooks, and now Baresi spinning, playing it back to Tyson Holmes. Out to Exidius, roaming the right side. back to George Lambateridis. Tyson Holmes. Finding a gap. Mitrovic. It's going to deflect kindly. And Velibor Mitrovic will accept the invitation to shoot. And he gets Bronx cheers and sends the ball over even the second set of nets behind the goal.
Yeah, found himself in a more central position there, the left winger. And he sort of snapped at that opportunity. But as you said, it's gone over the bar and it's going to be a Melbourne Knights goal kick.
Corey Sewell. With an Aiden Bryce. Thomas Labuska. Bryce with a long ball. And it will take some chasing. Jurkovic is led to the ball by two defenders. Indeed, can't get there before it goes out for a goal kick. Exidius. I've seen you taking down the formation. Josip, any thoughts on Bentleigh Greens or either team through almost 10 minutes so far?
Yeah, well, it's a pretty standard lineup from Bentleigh Greens, who have Mitrovic and Ewell out wide, Third Tell playing up top, Baresi, Lambateridis and Holmes in the middle. Crooks in left back, Exidius in right back, and Jankovic and Webster in central defence with Scott between the sticks. It's a pretty standard lineup for Bentleigh, who have made two changes from last week with Jacob Alexander and Charlie Fry on the bench tonight, with Tyson Holmes and James Exidius coming in from last week's 3-1 win against Gully, where this man had something to say.
That was Valentino Ewell deferring out to Josh Baresi. Runs underneath Holmes, but Crooks is pressed up to help out. And now Mitrovic. Lambateridis leaves it for Crooks, and he's hurried here, and Knights will win back possession as a result. Jurkovic was felled by late contact from Mitrovic. And now a long ball. John Albano, you see him accelerating after it, and he has chased it down. Bentleigh players scrambling to get goal side. And Jankovic is able to strip him of the ball. Now Webster playing it to Baresi, who can roll on, and he sees Ewell, who's trying to check his run and stay on side, and he does. Valentino Ewell at the byline, he's sent that ballooning high, and his efforts to keep the ball in have resulted in sending it well out for a goal kick. It was interesting to see Holmes on the bench last week. Bentleigh won 3-1 against Green Gully. And I can tell you that Jacob Alexander was up in Brisbane trialling with the Brisbane Roar during the week. So that's probably, if not definitely, why he's out of the starting 11, because he's been doing a bit of work there, trying to reignite a professional career.
Yeah, well, that's always positive.
I guess it's a tough one with transfer windows being closed, though. And as we see, almost a real gap between Exidius and Scott. He came out and swiped at the ball at the edge of the area.
Was the contact outside the box, though?
I think he was inside his area, but it was nearly a comical own goal. We've had a few rather major gaffes in the first 3 weeks of NPL Victoria. The Encyclopedia of Victorian Football, Demir Kulash, has written in to tell me that Tyson Holmes was injured against Pascoe Vale the week before, and that's why he did not start against Green Gully last week. Thank you, Demir. Good to see that whatever the injury was, it only limited him for 1 week. Andrew Fisher says, any chance I can get a shout out for my boys Ivan and Matthew? They're watching from home and it would make their day. Well, Ivan and Matthew, I hope you're enjoying watching Melbourne Knights against the Bentleigh Greens. And I'm sure you are cheering on the team in white and red. Corner kick coming up. Game has been evenly balanced. Maybe Knights just shading it at present.
It's been a positive start from the Knights. I mean, we're 12 minutes in. Comes a corner from Citkovic.
And that one is off the shoulder of Baresi. Knights will be first to respond. Duzel back out to Citkovic. He's going to hit it first time. And it's over the head of all in the penalty area except Albano out the back. He finds Frunjic. He's able to lose Josh Baresi, and now loads up on his left foot. And he picked out Crooks rather than Uskok. Giselle, back cracking. Marijan Cvitkovic. Flag stays down. Jurkovic at the near post, and Webster happy to concede another corner. Pressure is certainly on Bentleigh Greens at the moment.
Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, it's been a good start from the Knights. I mean, the predictions that we've had pre-game from a few of our viewers, 4 goals, 5 goals, 3 goals. I mean, it doesn't look like that at the moment, but Bentleigh are the type of team, and they showed it last week. They got 2 goals in a matter of a minute last week, so anything's possible, but positive from the Knights.
Cvitkovic, and first header is Jurkovic. Oh, Watson tried for the volley, no contact. And so at the feet of Albano. Bentleigh are camped in their penalty area at the moment. It's a rarity to see them under this sort of sustained pressure, and hooked back in by Uskok, but Ryan Scott is able to grasp onto the ball. It's a tough road trip across town. John Anastasiadis told me pre-game that from Chadstone, it took him 2 hours and 45 minutes to get here tonight. I was wondering if he was travelling via horse and carriage. That's an extraordinary indictment on the traffic.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. Sort of reminds me of my days at Deacon Burwood.
Yule, oh, good cross, and then Mitrovic. He was contending for the ball but couldn't make contact. Baresi, Bentleigh have swung it down to their attack in the blink of an eye. Now it's Melbourne Knights who have to stand tall and defend as Crooks backtracks. Mickey Colina, the Knights coach, urging his defence to push up and get the defensive line coordinated. So Bentleigh bide their time. They were able to counter punch there after a period of Knights aggression. And all the way back to the goalkeeper then. Decent chance for Mitrovic, though. We've seen Watson at one end, Mitrovic at the other. Neither could make meaningful contact with a very tantalising cross quite close to their heads.
Yeah, you'll sort of see now, oh, play on.
Uskok is going to take the free ball and go driving forward, and Ryan Scott makes a good save.
Yeah, very important for Scott to hold it there with the oncoming Watson, who would have pounced on that had Scott not kept complete control of that ball. But, I mean, the best form of defence is attack, but you'll just hope that they, for the Knights' sake, don't get caught on transition, because that's something that Bentleigh are very good at.
Holmes. Switching to Exidius. Raking cross, which is headed away by Jurkovic, and Crooks has free rein to chase the ball down. His first thought has often been to go backwards, though, Crooks, whenever he gets into the attacking half, and this proves to be no exception. See the scene here at Knights Stadium tonight. Good weather. Winter hasn't arrived just yet, thankfully. Valentino Yule. Holmes knocked off the ball, but Bentleigh retained possession. Exidius. Coughed up by Lambatteridis, but Holmes made it work, and then he got knocked by Uskok. Play continues, advantage. Exidius, another sweeping cross. Mitrovic hooks it back, and Thurtell was thinking about the spectacular, but he just couldn't reach for the ball, and out it goes.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity there by Bentleigh. The ball's come in, and Corey Sewell had a bit of work to do there to get the ball out of there with Valentino Yule behind him, posing that pressure. But it was a good ball by James Exidius. It came early. It was across the face of goal. Had the Knights scrambling, but good to see that the home side was able to deal with that.
Now, Marley is messaged in saying, watching this, waiting for Mornington versus Sydenham to start. Come on, Gulls. Of course, Sydenham Park are playing Mornington. You talk about long road trips. Sydenham versus Mornington tonight in the FFA Cup. It's a battle of State 1 Northwest versus State 1 Southeast. They almost needed the light plane to get across town for that one. Mornington.
Yeah, that's some good travel time there.
Of course, that's a brutal tie for those two to draw straight out of the hat in round 3. And I can tell you that on Wednesday, we have our first FFA Cup draw with NPL teams getting involved. So that'll be round 4, Wednesday at midday. And of course, these two teams will be in the draw, with Melbourne Knights knocked out at the first hurdle last year, and Bentleigh Greens, of course, going all the way to the semi-final. Stark contrast in fortunes. Around the grounds, Brisbane Roar 1, Western Sydney Wanderers 0. So there's been an early goal in tonight's only A-League game. We'll keep you posted around the grounds. Of course, the other game in the NPL tonight is 8:15 between Pascoe Vale and Port Melbourne. Tyson Holmes streaming through the midfield and then telegraphed the pass to Mitrovic, so it is intercepted by Jerkovic. Holmes goes and wins it back, refuses to be beaten. And now Baresi blocked by Corey Sewell. It's a good night for people in the NPL because Dylan Wenzel-Halls has just scored an absolute banger for Brisbane Roar. Great goal. Taking a look at that. Got all sorts of streaming devices going. Doesn't matter if it's NPL or A-League or what have you. Bentleigh retained possession in the meantime as we sneak a look at the replay of Wenzel-Halls' goal. Oh, that's a proper goal.
Oh, it was a great cut in from the right foot. No chance for the keeper there.
Franic. Albano. Webster's been dragged wide to guard John Albano, and he slices past him, and that was begging for the back of the net. It just kept rising, though.
Yeah, it was great to sort of, he's with the outside of the foot on the right foot. He's gotten himself some space, and I thought he may curl that one into the back post, but he's gone for a bit of power, and unfortunately he's skied it over the bar.
Sammy says, go Knights on the stream. Keep your comments coming. We are live and interactive. Great to see the audience numbers are absolutely flying up. More than 15,000 viewers in the first 2 weeks of NPL across all the games. Men's, women's, 20s, and NPL 2. There's the long ball here. Valentino Yule, great first touch to bring it down on the impossible angle. Oh, that would have been some goal from Valentino Yule. He may have the hot boot to start the season. That wasn't far away.
Yeah, well, that's what you get with Valentino Yule. I mean, he hasn't shown much in the first 20 minutes of this contest, and then the ball comes out wide, and like you said, on the impossible angle, he just scrapes on the other side of the post. Had that one gone a couple millimetres bit more to the right, that one would have been 1-0 Bentleigh. So, fantastic showing there by the prolific goal scorer, who I believe we haven't seen everything of in tonight's contest. So it'll be exciting to see what else he can conjure up.
That is a real warning sign, though. That first touch, and now he's in the mood because the back heel has set Exidius away. And Thurtell can't will himself onto the ball. Corey Sewell was there first. Important defending. Now Bentleigh starting to just get on top in general play for the first time through 20 minutes. Yankovic. And he's overhit that one. Exidius did well to keep it in. In fact, he's done brilliantly to keep it in. Baresi. Yule against Sewell. And Corey Sewell stops the cross in its tracks.
He's so quick with his movement, Valentino Yule. I mean, he gets the ball, and the pace of his acceleration is just going to be very hard for Jurcic and Sewell to work together, in a sense, to stop the man.
Thurtell. Exidius. And the shot with a little parry just to take the sting out of it is held onto by Harry Chukarun. Important for him. He wouldn't have been too thrilled with Tom Cahill's goal. As far as how a goalkeeper responds, you just need to close that, as we see the flag up against Albano. You need to close that out and just worry about the next save, the next game. But certainly not the sort of thing that, you know, you'll feel too good about when you boot it into the oncoming striker. Yeah,
well, I mean, it's something that we've seen at the highest level, and it's something that sort of confuses me as well. Why keepers wait so long, you know, just sort of, especially when you're playing against a team of Heidelberg's calibre and you're 1-0 down, and then something like that happens and it flies straight into the back of the net, and then you're kicking yourself as to why you held onto the balls for so long. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts. But it's never something we want to see keepers go through, whether they're young like Chakarun or of age. But it's all a part of their experience, and it's just about moving forward.
Frunjic sliding in against Holmes. Exidius guarding Albano. Yule defers to Baresi. Here's the return pass, and look at the change of gears from Yule. The burst of speed. And the Knights' defence was scrambling back. Aiden Bryce, important, sliding in to stop Thurtell receiving a tap in.
Yeah, had that one found its way through to Thurtell, that would have been 1-0 Bentleigh. So, but once again, it's that change of pace from Valentino Yule. He gives out the ball, gets the second ball back, and he's made his way around Sewell, and there was no chance there for the centre back to make a block. So good work there by Bryce, and positive signs for Bentleigh.
Corner kick coming up. George Lambatteridis to take. One of the two former Green Gully men in the Bentleigh lineup. And that corner won't trouble Thomas Lavuskok, who heads it away. But the second time ball could be a problem. Holmes glanced on and played into the path of Baresi, but he's forced wide. Chops it back out to Lambatteridis. And then his pass, he just scuffed it a little. So Holmes has to go all the way back to Exidius. Tom in the comments says, Kanda Knights, Kanda Pies, Captain Morgan 9%, rock my jocks. Safe to say Tom is on it early on his Friday night. Tom, I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. I reckon you might be. Valentino Yule here trying to cause trouble again, and that will be a corner kick and desperate defending from Luke Jurcic on that occasion. So another corner kick coming up. Lots of people jumping on the stream. Like, share, comment. We're live and interactive this evening on Facebook, and also if you want to connect it to your smart TV, you can jump on the YouTube channel. YouTube numbers have been fantastic in the first couple of weeks. Bo says Exidius and Yule are having a riot down that side. Well, I think they're having a jolly old time. It's not quite a riot. Yeah,
they're enjoying themselves down this right flank.
Thurtell, short corner this time, and it's slightly come unstuck. Lambatteridis has to defer back to Holmes. Whatever plan A was, I'm sure that wasn't it. But it's still dangerous as Chakarun goes out, and that's a confident claim that'll have him feeling good.
Yeah, can't argue with that one. That was good to see him leap up there.
Good to have former Melbourne Knights media manager Donald Sutherland tuning in. Of course, tonight is the Sutherland-Dow derby between a couple of former media managers, Yessa Dow of the Bentleigh Greens and Donald Sutherland of the Melbourne Knights. I'm sure they've got a bet on it. Maybe the winner has to buy the loser a dinner or a six-pack of their favourite beer. Of course, I don't condone betting on football myself. Albano. Oh, great touch. And then he went and gave it straight to Valentino Yule. Maybe heard a shout and didn't realise it wasn't his teammate. Standing there waiting. And Baresi, clever, outfoxes Uskok. And Corey Sewell is really under the pump down this flank. Baresi holding off Sewell and into the chest of the goalkeeper. End-to-end football at the moment. Yeah,
fantastic run there by Baresi, who's come through three players. He received the ball from Yule halfway into his own side of the half, and he's made it all the way wide and made it all the way to the attacking box and got on a shot. So great stuff there by Baresi, who found the net last week.
Good quality game this. Just both teams attacking, playing good football. I hope you're enjoying it too. News of a Wanderers equaliser up in Brisbane in tonight's only A-League game. This pass from Frunjic, can't find Jurcic. Yes, had it correct.
Yeah, he was looking to play Jurcic, even though Hamish Watson's run sort of looked more dangerous, and had the ball gone through to Watson, maybe could have found himself one-on-one.
Well, really bad goalkeeping error from Jamie Young has allowed Mitchell Duke to equalise for Western Sydney. It's an uncharacteristic mistake from a goalkeeper that's normally very good. Scoreless here though, not sure how. We've had lots of good quality attacking. And on this occasion, Jurcic wins the duel with Yule. Jankovic. Given away, Svitkovic, great chance for Watson. Watson Oh, denied once. Following up again. And he shot it right into the crowd of Bentleigh bodies. Credit Jack Webster for making the block, but Watson perhaps should have done better with the 2 chances.
Yeah, well, that first opportunity, it sort of looked like he was holding on to the ball for too long. I mean, there was a great dispossession there, great ball by Cvitkovic, passed it out to Watson, and sort of when he should have taken the shot while he just got into the box, it looked like he just held on to it and his options closed off. But positive there from the Knights, who get a corner out of it.
Corner kick. Watson still the aggressor with Cvitkovic. Marian Cvitkovic deflected out, corner kick. Yet another corner for Knights. Got lots of commentators for the rest of the weekend tuning in as well. Bryce Rutherford will be your voice for Dandenong Thunder against Altona Magic tomorrow night. Marcus Copsey will be calling the action at South Melbourne and their trip away to Avondale. That'll be a must-see contest as well. So we have a corner here. Sewell rising. And Jurkovic blocked away by Baresi. Franic. Uskok beaten to the header by Lambatteridis. Now Duzel. Flicks it on. Uskok back to Duzel and then knocked off his feet. Goes to ground. Thurtell making a nuisance of himself, and that's good endeavour from the forward because it's released to Mitrovic. And then he just ran straight into the challenge of Aidan Bryce. Over to Jean Albano. Twisting and turning and swinging it across, which Webster is able to intercept. Albano looks a little bit sore, almost like he just plucked his ankle in the turf a little bit. Now all the way down to the goalkeeper. Albano is back on his feet and walking all right.
It was a good take there by Bryce. He's given the ball up to Albano, and the cross came early, but I believe that was Webster who dealt with the pressure.
Correct, yes.
Shouts for handball given there, actually, on Marko Jankovic.
Knights wanted to take it quickly, but the ball was still rolling, so they have to go and reset it. Half an hour gone then, and scoreless at Knights Stadium. Franic leaves the ball behind for Holmes. Yule. Lambatteridis. Mitrovic goes back to Crooks. Bentleigh happy to play it around their defence. Valentino Yule sees the run of Exidius, trying to chase the ball down. He got there in time. And now the cross cleared by Bryce. Jurkovic misses the header. Baresi knocking it on. Exidius, well, he ran away from the ball there. Corey Sewell's clearance. And a couple of ricochets work out for the Melbourne Knights.
Yeah, they got away with that one there.
MJ says, can you give a shout out to Pigeon down below the commentary box? It's his shout and he's trying to avoid it. Of course, we have the bar below the commentary box here in the TV tower at Knights Stadium, and there is, as always, a decent contingent of vocal happy fans all enjoying a beer or two. Pigeon, it's your shout. Holmes, and nothing too malicious to that foul. Cvitkovic has given himself up immediately and apologised, but will it draw a card? That's the question.
Yeah, well, haven't been any yellow cards as of yet. I feel like had it been somebody else apart from Cvitkovic, maybe there would have been a yellow there, but had it been someone else, it may have been a tougher challenge. So
shows the advantage of apologising straight away, doesn't it? He was, and I think that was just genuinely an accident. He swiped at the ball and totally missed and got the shins. So still no bookings in this game as yet.
It's been a good, clean contest so far.
Well, I think we saw one of the live graphics pop up that Bentley's only committed the one foul to date, and
there's the second.
That will double the tally. Uskok. Jurkovic. John Anastasiadis in his technical area, prowling, instructing his defence to organise. Albano, Cvitkovic, deflected pass, will hold up kindly, and now a swing of the left boot. Ryan Scott has almost made a complete meal of this with Watson challenging him on the end of Duzel's long shot, but he eventually grasped his two hands around it. Webster. Yankovic. Crooks. Seen a stat, Josip?
Yeah, so Melbourne Knights got 3 shots on target and Bentleigh have 2. So interesting to see so far with Knights, you could say, probably the better team in the first half. However,
Exidius is in, cut back and off the crossbar. So close for Lambertaridis. And now Velibor Mitrovic puts it wide. Great chance for George Lambertaridis. Rattled the woodwork and then Mitrovic couldn't follow it in.
Yeah, just as we were saying with the shots on target there.
Well, they don't get one. They get 2 shots off target.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count, does it? But that was a great cutback there by Exidius, and the right foot outswinger by Lambertaridis hit the bar, and it was a few millimetres down, and that one could have found the top corner.
And it would have been a great goal with Exidius losing the 2 defenders, and now it's Webster's turn to backtrack at speed, and there's good trust there with his goalkeeper. Ryan Scott, a hefty first-time clearance. Cvitkovic against Lambertaridis. Adrenaline still pumping after hitting the crossbar a moment ago. Tyson Holmes happy to calm things down. To Crooks at left back. 10 minutes plus stoppage until half-time. This game deserves a goal or 2. It's been good football so far. Entertaining NPL stuff. And you'd expect nothing less between 2 teams that have 5 wins out of 6 between them to start the season.
Yeah, it's been a good start from both teams. I mean, it's a long season, but the Knights probably would have gotten off to a better start than they would have imagined. And Bentleigh's just been showing that they mean business this season. And like you said earlier, with Anastasiadis leaving mid-season, it's going to be interesting to see how that actually affects their position on the table, and it's going to be interesting to see where they are mid-season and where they are at the end of the season.
Garth De Silva, the 4th official, copping it from both benches in that last passage of play because they were both shouting for fouls. Referee just let them play. Now Yule is dispossessed, and Cvitkovic through the right. Duzel. Thurtell. Knights retain the ball. Watson. Big, wide turning circle, and it allowed Crooks to come in and challenge him. Watson's done really well to protect the ball, but he's taken on one player too many. Bursting away is Mitrovic. Corey Sewell read it in flight. Back to Jurcic. A few players being dragged out of position here. Is it a chance for Knights to strike? Duzel to Watson. Acute angle, and he just went for power over placement, tried to blaze a trail through. And as the assistant referee flags, it is just a throw down next to the corner flag. And Michael Mammis is clearly unhappy with something here. Might have been a bit of back chat from Anthony Duzel. And he's talked his way into the book, it seems, or maybe that's for one of the fouls that we're coming back for. Either way, it's our first yellow card of the night, and Duzel, who was sent off last time he played here at Knights Stadium, is the first player to receive a card tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, regardless of what he's actually gotten the yellow for, it's not very good to see him being first in the book. Last time out, he got a yellow card against, was that Altona Magic, I believe. He's got a yellow card in the first half, and it ended up being a red by the end of it. So let's hope he can...
Jurcic. Watson loves to brace for the contact and then use his body. Webster gives it away. Duzel and Franjic. Watson breaks ahead of the ball. Frunich running on. Albano. Bentleigh crowd the penalty area. It's going to take a incisive pass. Albano, can he come up with it? He can't. Bentleigh have the numbers and Holmes clears. Jurcic, Baresi, Jurkovic, and Baresi once more, but he dawdled on the ball, and that allowed him to have his pocket picked by Jean Albano. And neither team can complete a pass at the moment, off the shoulder of Crooks. So, down the left side, Bentleigh retained the ball. Mitrovic. He's going to send it back to Jankovic. Crooks ran straight into Uscock, and this time the whistle does come to his aid, and Uscock says, "Is that on me? I was the one who was clattered by Crooks." So it's a free kick almost back on the halfway line. Long ball from the free kick. It's going to bounce over to an unmarked Valentino Yule. And then he jagged in, and his touch was a bit heavy, but he gets a corner.
Yeah, great read there by Joey Frunich there. Just to peg the ball over the bar and out for a corner.
Plenty of corners at both ends. Batteridis remains the taker. Swings it to the far post. Webster's up, but he's beaten to the ball by Jurkovic. Good strong header. So it will be a throw in on the opposite side. They're going to wait for Crooks to trot up from left back all the way. Gets there eventually. Quick 1-2 with Mitrovic. We get another throw. Mitrovic to Holmes, and Bentleigh are forced backwards. That's credit to the Knights' defence. It's a real tactical victory. You've got an attacking throw-in after a corner, and all the team doing is, all they can do is take it back into their defensive half. Testament to the defensive setup. They're going to be tested down the right side instead. Exidius has been asking a lot of questions of this Knights' defence, but again he goes back to Webster. Lambatteridis. Exidius keeps it moving. Lambatteridis. One-on-one against Jurcic. Still turns and puts in a ball, but it's cleared by Bryce. Might have just got that on the bridge of his nose because he looks a little dazed as he heads it away. And then again, Bentleigh are happy to go backwards. And that just allows Knights again to take a breather, and their defence pushes right out here. So they've got the answers to Bentleigh at the moment. Inside the last 5 minutes of regulation in this first half, and it's started to become a bit more of a game of chess and a battle of wills at this point. The end-to-end action and the goal-mouth action has just dried up a little, but we might be right back on for some more here as Yule cuts around Sewell. Valentino Yule tried to put it on a plate for Thurtell, but Aidan Bryce reads the ball excellently to get in and take it away.
Yeah, he got past Sewell there a bit too easy, but once again, using that pace of his, it's a fantastic aspect of his game.
And now Svitkovic plays it to an offside Jurcic, and I was wondering, how did he get goal side of his man so easily? Well, the answer is he was offside.
Yeah, well, we're in that stage now of the contest in the last few minutes of the first half. A goal now would change the complexion of the game huge.
Bad turnover. Duzel to Watson. Surely it is.
There it is.
Hamish Watson gets the goal. Such a costly giveaway from the Bentleigh Greens, and they are made to pay as Melbourne Knights go 1-0 up.
Yeah, fantastic there by the Knights. Bentleigh coughed up the ball there.
Tyson Holmes, uncharacteristic.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic ball to Hamish Watson, and he's finished it just as I said, that a goal would be very important and changed the whole complexion of the game. It's come through. I think the assist was there by Giselle, who was on the yellow card, who's been a standout performer for the Knights this season, who's just have to control his temper a little bit. But fantastic for the home side, who find themselves 1-0 up in a game which they most probably didn't really think they would be. But great work there by the Knights, and now they just have to find a way to get to half-time and go from there then.
How do you say Nostradamus in Croatian, Josip? Because you called that perfectly. You said a goal was on the way, and Knights scored in the same phase of play. And now, with the confidence up, Watson is trying to squirm his way out of a selection of Bentleigh players. Webster pops it back to Lambatteridis off the referee. And then Webster. Crowd wants a high boot. Referee obliges. And, well, the red mist is just starting to descend a little bit for Jack Webster. They won't be happy about this, Bentleigh, because they had been doing a lot of attacking, a lot of possession, and, gee, a costly giveaway has just been absolutely punished by the only goal so far.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as you were saying, it was becoming a game of chess, and in chess, the most important thing is getting an edge on your opponent or taking advantage of mistakes, and that's what the Knights have done here.
Svitkovic to Franjic, deflection, could have gone anywhere, and Jack Webster ended up taking the sting out of the ball, and it sat up for Ryan Scott, but that could have gone horribly wrong. Melbourne Knights, how they would love a second before the break. That would really throw down the gauntlet to the Bentleigh Greens, who appear determined to wipe out this deficit before the end of the half. Yule has made a perfect run, stays onside, loses his man, and he hits the crossbar as well. He really had the goal at his mercy, and he sent it high, and Valentino Yule misses out on what would have been the equaliser.
Yeah, that was a fantastic opportunity for Bentleigh, who could have literally just claimed. Yeah, that was a great take there by Yule, and he's put it in the inside of his boot, and it's rising, and it's hit the top of the bar, and it hasn't found its way into the back of the net. Unfortunate there, and it's a sort of situation where you don't see Valentino Yule miss very often.
His first touch tonight has been on another level. The quality there to control that ball and then have it run on. It deserved a goal, really, but he couldn't finish. So it remains 1-0 in favour of Melbourne Knights. There's only going to be one additional minute to end the first half. Albano. Headed away by Crooks. Holmes. Exidius. Yule. Lost his feet, kept the ball. Sweeping pass, Thurtell. Takes it in his stride, has to go wide left though. Mitrovic. And the cross is headed away by Jurcic. Sent sky high. It's there to be won.
This could be the last chance of the half here for the Knights.
And Watson, as Jankovic stays down, so they're down a defender. Albano cuts it back in, and it's sat up. Watson still challenging, but he can't get a boot to the ball. And so, as halftime arrives, Melbourne Knights will take the lead to the break. It has been a good game so far, and the sole goal from Hamish Watson is the difference. Josip Herzog, final thought as we go to the break. Melbourne Knights 1, Bentleigh Greens 0.
Yeah, very good opportunity here for the Knights to be able to steal a victory, but they're going to really have to be careful of that threat that Bentleigh do have. I mean, they scored the goal and then they nearly conceded a couple minutes later, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they defend and whether they can double their lead. Exciting second half to come.
Stay with us on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel and Facebook page. You'll have the countdown clock during the halftime break. Don't forget, Pascoe Vale versus Port Melbourne is also going on our channels tonight. We'll be back with you for the second half shortly. Welcome back to the Knights Stadium. Half-time, and it's the home team leading 1-0. Melbourne Knights 1, Bentleigh Greens 0 in this NPL Victoria clash. Round 4, the only goal of the game so far to Hamish Watson. And the Knights target man has so far delivered when a midfield cough-up from Tyson Holmes allowed Anthony Duzell to escape and play through the big number 9. Bentleigh are going to make a half-time sub. It's going to be Matthew Crooks off and Jacob Alexander on, so a like-for-like switch at left-back. Melbourne Knights 11 unchanged. Teo Pellizzeri, my name, Josip Herzog from the Croatian Herald with me, and you can read, of course, his reporting in the Croatian Herald as well. Start of the second half. Knights to kick us off. They're attacking the right of your screens. And Josip, which way do you think the game will go in the second 45?
Yeah, well, Bentleigh's not going to shy away from attacking. They've had some success attacking down the flanks with Mitrovic and Yule, more so Yule, who has managed to hit the crossbar. After hitting the crossbar twice in the first half, it'll be interesting to see how many more attacks and opportunities they get. They've taken 9 shots in total and gotten 2 on target in comparison to Melbourne Knights' 6 shots, and they've gotten 5 on target. So it's been clinical from the Knights, who have a chance here.
Jurcic's cross is cleared by Jankovic, and then just dinked into the path of Holmes. Well, it's a good point, because you mentioned the 2 crossbar hits, Lambatteridis when the game was 0-0, and then Yule when Knights had taken the lead. Both were decent chances. I think you'd expect Yule to score. Lambatteridis was maybe, 49% likely to score. I'm not sure what XG would classify it at, as to whether you're expected to score in that situation or not, but rattled back off the crossbar, and then Mitrovic sent the follow-up wide. So only goal of the game so far is Melbourne Knights' way. We restart here with Ryan Scott, the Bentleigh Greens keeper. Knights have yet to make a change, and just the 1 yellow card shown in this game so far, and that went to Anthony Duzell. So Uskok wins a header. Jankovic playing it to Holmes, and now Josh Baresi. It's out off Baresi. Test for John Anastasiadis here. Bentleigh weren't happy with the pitch when they arrived. They took one look at it and were a bit surprised. We spoke about it 2 weeks ago. Normally Knights surface starts out well and then gets challenged as winter hits. I've got to say, though, it hasn't affected the game too much. It's not like we've pointed to any one given passage of play in this game and said, oh, that was caused by the pitch. So it may look pretty bad, but it's yet to actually have a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, well, look, I've done the halfway walk twice tonight, from one side of the pitch to the other, and as much as it doesn't really look nice on the eye, it is pretty flat. It's a flat surface, and I believe the flatness gives it.
Alexander sees Yule in space. Valentino Yule, he hooks the shot, no power, and thus it is seized upon by Corey Sewell, but Yule is back in, and he's picking the pocket of Franjic. Svitkovic comes back to help him out, and now they will clear their lines through Jurcic. Bentleigh creating, and Valentino Yule is the obvious candidate to find them an equaliser here.
Yeah, as I was saying, that flatness of the surface, I feel like that gives it that benefit of the doubt, especially in the first few weeks, while you can still see grass on the pitch. I mean, I've seen not just this pitch, but I've seen some pitches around Victoria where it's tough to even find a strand of grass once we get to the latter stages of the season. So I don't really see how you can blame the pitch, especially in tonight's affair. It doesn't look too pretty on the eye, but it is pretty flat, and it is nicely cut. It's short, so shouldn't. Oh, here we go. Here's a break by Bentleigh.
And Thurtell challenged Chakarun, who held onto the ball in the air. Around the grounds, it is half an hour gone. Pascoe Vale and Port Melbourne are 0-0. You can watch that one live. We've also got Old Scotch playing against Point Cook in the FFA Cup tonight. That game is 0-0. And I'm yet to see a score come through from the game between Sydenham Park and Mornington. But if anyone does know the score, you can either tweet it to @FFV365 or just tell us in the comments, because I'm very intrigued as to what the result will be over at Keilor Lodge this evening between Sydenham and Mornington. 2 teams that will be chasing promotion in State League 1 this year. Long ball. Jurcic Uskok. Svitkovic. Back to Jurcic. First to Franjic, and then given away. Holmes. Franjic is desperate to backtrack and make amends. Corey Sewell just cleared it straight into Valentino Yule, and now Franjic does get to make amends, but his clearance is only as far as Holmes.
It'll be interesting to see if, I'm interested anyways, to see if Mitrovic and Yule will at any point during this half switch sides, because I feel like Yule has had a bit of success on that right flank, but as much as it's been a success, he still hasn't found the back of the net. So it'll be interesting to see if they do switch flanks and how much effect it does have.
Caleb Mikulic in the comments says, "Come on, boys." Of course, he scored a match-winning goal for Melbourne Knights against Bentleigh Greens a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, well, I had a chat with Caleb midweek. He is now at Austria Wien. He's playing over there in the youth setup. He's been there for about a year and a half now. So fantastic news coming from the camp there, and it'd be fantastic to see him get a senior gig in the next couple of seasons.
Working wide on the left is Jacob Alexander. Good to see him tuning in then from Austria. Tyson Holmes. And Baresi can't flick it onto his own advantage as Jurkovic puts it out.
Here's another one of those young talents that's come through the ranks here at Somers Street.
Great to have Adam Varallo tuning in from the AIS over in Italy. Our taxes at work. Adam, I hope you're enjoying your Friday afternoon. As Franjic clears.
And Marinos Panay, who used to play for Bentleigh Greens.
So, do you know where he's playing this year?
I do not know, actually. Not too sure.
Let us know, Marinos. I'm sure he's in the state leagues somewhere. Jacob Alexander, the sub, sends it long, and that is a good clearance from Aidan Bryce because he just backed himself to hook it over his own shoulder, and he did. Now the battle resumes between Uskok and Lambatarins. And Uskok prevails, and he's got John Albano sprinting away. Ryan Scott come off his line, and that's good judgment from the goalkeeper to get out and clear it away. As we wait for the ball to come back in. Good work from the Knights ball kids. Nikola Jurkovic just taking a breather before going and hurling it back into play. And then Albano, who did all the hard work to get Knights down the field to begin with, gives it away. Ball booted long and high. Header is won by Bryce. Flicked on. Duzel. Since the back heel was coming there, but Tyson Holmes obviously got the same feeling. Thurtell has been really contained in this game. We have not called his name very often. He does lurk, he does always pose a goal threat, but he just hasn't been that involved in general play so far. As Corey Sewell tries to pop it through the left. Yule looping over to Franjic, who sees it out.
Yeah, it's been a good showing from the centre-back pairing of Melbourne Knights there tonight, Corey Sewell and Aidan Bryce. And like you said, Matt Thurtell, we haven't called his name too many times tonight. I feel like that has reason to do with it. They've had... Here's a break.
Path is closed on Baresi. So Uskok on the ball, and now Duzel. Watson, the goal scorer. He's coughed it up here. Mitrovic, Baresi, out into open space for Velibor Mitrovic to chase it down. Mitrovic sends the cross beyond Yule, has to hair after it. He does get there and then hooks it back in. Corey Sewell at the near post. It's going to fall for Alexander. Bit of a ponderous first touch, and it takes him wide. But he does retain the ball, and that left foot is his main weapon as it's blocked away by Jurkovic. when the action just eases up, I'll get your predictions for the rest of the weekend, Josip, because it's a busy Saturday. And then, of course, we've got a big game on Monday night as well, all of them live streamed on NPL Victoria, YouTube and Facebook. Hurled long by Alexander. He's got a great long throw, but that one picked out the woolly mop of Corey Saul. And Giselle with a good slide challenge, but it will be a Bentleigh throw. So they're just trying to turn up the heat here as we tick towards the 55-minute mark. And that throw was to no one in particular as far as Bentleigh were concerned. And Bataridis against Svitkovic continues to challenge. Yankovic steps around Watson, trying to make his presence felt. Franjic up against Holmes. And then it's played back to Webster. And Yule can take it and run. Valentino Yule cuts it in. Hasty pass there from Holmes and Exidius. It's cleared away. John Anastasiadis playing ball boy, quick to pick it up, give it back to Webster. Exidius taken off him. Scott comes away with the ball, and now Svitkovic out into open space. And the flag is up against John Albano. Not sure we'll have the greatest angle here looking at it again, so trust the Wano's call. Gee, I reckon he was a mile on there.
Yeah, it's a close call. I mean, the angle that we got from here isn't the greatest, but it was close call. But we do trust
the official. But gee, I reckon he was on. Yeah. Anyway, we are not. The camera is not on the perfect angle to judge it, but I think with the naked eye, I wasn't 100% sure. The replay maybe suggests that he might have been a little hard done by there, John Albano. But we'll continue to ask questions. Anyway, in this little lull, tomorrow 3 p.m, Green Gully against Dandenong City. Adam Sarakoglu and Katie Lambeski, your call team for that one. Dandy City are yet to experience a win in the top flight. Green Gully away is a very difficult assignment. Can they get an upset on the road, Josip, and end the losing streak that has started their season?
Yeah, look, I'd like to say they can, but I don't see them winning tomorrow. I'm one of the ones that believes their first win of the season is going to come next week.
Against Melbourne Knights?
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I feel like Green Gully's going to take that one out 2-1 tomorrow.
So we see a battle for possession here. Foul by Baresi. And we've only seen the one card in this game so far. We won't see another one here. Next game, Avondale against South Melbourne. Marcus Copsey and Matt Sultana, your broadcast team at Avenger Park, the Reggio Calabria club. This is a huge test for South Melbourne because Avondale are flying at the moment.
Yeah, Avondale's favourites there, and especially at home, it's going to be tough to bet against them.
Free kick for Melbourne Knights. Jokovic scored a header last week. Puskok is an obvious target to aim for. Duzel's delivery is lacking on this occasion. Saturday, 7 p.m, Dandenong Thunder against Altona Magic. Altona with just 1 point from a possible 9. Dandenong Thunder on a 2-game winning streak. Who do you fancy in that one?
Well, I'm tossing up between a Dandy Thunder win and a draw maybe. A draw maybe that Altona Magic may conjure up in the...
If they've only got 2 points from 12, or if they've only got 1 point from 12, is that crisis time for the Magic? I mean, I think they've played good football in all 3 of their games so far. I think you want to encourage patience, but when relegation is there, and Magic were aiming for the top 6, they were aiming for finals. If you're 1 or 2 points from 12, it's going to be pretty hairy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you're not wrong. I can't argue with you there, but I don't think we should really call it crisis time as of yet. You know, 4-5 rounds in. Like you said, they've played...
I feel like Magic are going to come good. I would still actually back them to make the 6 from here, but if you're 1 point or 2 points from your first 4 games, it's a big hill to climb.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, Goran Lozanovsky, he's been in all sorts of positions in his coaching career. He's won leagues, he's been relegated, he's done it all. But I do see Magic coming back, and like you say, they may be a contender for that top 6. But it's the same sort of thing with Dandenong City. You have a look; they've put in a lot of effort into building their inaugural NPL squad, and it just hasn't worked out results-wise the way they would have wanted it to. So it's still early signs, but I mean, I still see these two teams making a good run further down the line.
Speaking of good runs, Alexander here is trying to slip it to Thurtell. Wide in the area, Thurtell is able to knock it back. Mitrovic, and it's a drifting cross that was really playable for any of his teammates, and always goalkeeper's ball. Saturday night, 8 p.m. This is always a good game for the neutral. Hume City at home to Heidelberg United. Burgers always bring a crowd to ABD, and this game rarely disappoints. Who do you fancy as the defending champions go to face Hume, who have 7 points from a possible 9 to start the campaign?
I'm going to say Hume going to win that one at home.
Svitkovic. Oh, totally unmarked. Albano. Well, that was maybe a better chance than it appeared as it arrived with him, and we haven't critiqued the surface yet tonight. Maybe this is the first time we can say that the bounce and the footing was less than perfect as he tried to swivel on the ball.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity there for Albano. It was great work from Zvitkovic. I mean, the veteran has been doing his part, and then he's controlled it with
Mitrovic, and blocked away.
He's controlled it with his thigh, and he's put it down onto the ground. But I sort of think the way he's gone to volley that, I don't really blame the pitch on that one. I feel like technique was the issue there. But it's a great chance for the Knights, and they may want to put one more away before Bentleigh's threat becomes real.
So your tip is Hume to beat Heidelberg?
Yeah, that's my tip.
Long throw, not it down to the top of the box. Dozel clears. Game in the balance at the moment, 1-0. There's just a good tempo and rhythm to it. Either team feels like they can score at any time. And Watson has escaped. It's 2-on-2. Hamish Watson, does he go himself? Weaving through the left, Watson, and it's a good save to deny him. Follow-up, denied again. Ryan Scott, huge double save. And he stands his ground and keeps the score at 1-0.
Well, once again, Zvitkovic showing his class. He's played a fantastic ball out wide. They've seen it early. He's gotten Watson into a position where he can go 2-on-2. And Watson, with his quick feet, he's taken him on the left and he's taken that shot. The ball's come back to him. He's taken it on the right, volley, and another stop by Scott. Fantastic work there by the Bentleigh goalkeeper. And fantastic signs from the Knights, who now have a corner. And we'll see if they can conjure anything up from this.
Chances piling up to double their lead here, Melbourne Knights. Dozel's corner, Scott has to rise, and rise he does, to take it off the head of Corey Sewell. And now the overarm throw, releasing Thurtell, and he's clattered. And this will surely be a card. Bentleigh want it to be red. It's only going to be yellow. And Jurcic with a professional foul, and it started at Barney. And this is perhaps what happens when a team in the NPL is looking for a spark. It's right in front of the Knights fans, so there'll be a bit of verbal jousting as well. This is the sort of flashpoint that tends to happen sometimes in games involving the Bentleigh Greens. And Jurcic got full value for his yellow card there because he stopped the progress of Thurtell and he wiped him out for his trouble.
Yeah, well, just as that one happened, I was having a look at the stream that we've got here going between Pascoval and Port Melbourne, and they've had a scuffle at the exact same time, and there's been a few yellow cards dished out there, and now we're going to find out who's going to get a yellow card here. I believe Jurcic will be one of them.
Well, the planets have aligned, as you say. The foul from Jurcic, just a yellow. I mean, he had absolutely no intention to get the ball. All his sole aim was to halt the progress of Thurtell. And Bentleigh, I think they're quite right to ask for a red. I wouldn't have sent him off. I'd give him a yellow, but gee, they're right to ask the question, aren't they?
Yeah, well, questions can always be asked, but I feel like that comes down as one of those professional fouls.
Marcus in the comments says horrendous tackle should be a red.
There you go.
And Georgie says, great tackle all ball. Well, Jordan English and the other assistant referee out there, Ross Clark, are currently discussing the scuffle. I didn't see a red card offence in the scuffle. That was all push and shove. I'd be shocked if we see anything other than maybe a yellow or two out of the brawl.
Yeah, well, we've got Jurcic down for a yellow card, but just waiting to see if the referee is going to make any more decisions in terms of bookings.
I actually wouldn't. I'd just get on with the game and warn the players that the next bad tackle Well, Holmes gets booked and Svitkovic gets booked, and they both say, "Who, me?" What are you talking about? And they are now protesting vehemently their innocence out of that situation. Half-time at CB Smith Reserve, Pascoe 0, Port Melbourne 0. Marco says a tackle Simunic would be proud of. Chris says terrible tackle, should be straight off. Nick Glavan watching in says great challenge. Milan says solid tackle, all ball. So it's divided the comments. Tyson Holmes is mouthing off at the assistant referee now. Of course, if he gets sent off here, that'll be the end of his gold medal defence, because you can't win the gold medal if you're suspended. Great work from Brendan Jones, our cameraman, getting the facial expressions of Svitkovic and also Holmes. They are absolutely adamant that neither should be in the book. Anyway, that's the damage. Yellow cards for Jurcic, Holmes and Svitkovic out of all of that.
Yeah, well, it was interesting. I mean,
is Mitrovic in trouble here? I don't believe so. I think he's all right.
No. And we get to play on after a few minutes. That'll see a bit of time added on at the end of this contest.
Certainly will. Almost forgotten about the score. It's 1-0 to Melbourne Knights. After all of that has finally wrapped up. If either team scores now, it'll be a huge lift. Watson brings the ball down. The next big tackle could be so important with the teams already having come together once.
Great use of the body there, Hamish Watson. I mean, he's seen that he's got nowhere to go and that he's facing the touchline there in the middle of the park, and he's just used his body, stopped, given the ball out to his teammate, and they've found a way to get out.
Now, I've got one more game to ask your tip for, and that is the big one on Monday night. Kingston City at home to pointless Oakley. 3 losses from 3. Chris Taylor's men, perhaps surprising a few, certainly surprising me given the recruiting campaign that they went on. Is it going to continue to be a winless start to the season for Oakley? Could they even lose and be 4 losses from 4?
Yeah, well, that's one of those. I mean, how do you predict something like that? Who would have predicted 3 losses of 3? And now that they're playing in their 4th round clash against Kingston, Kingston are a good side at home.
Dazell's corner. And over the head of Jurkovic, but at the far post, chopped back in. Webster clears. And it's there to be won. Franjic rose to the ball. Albano bumped by Mitrovic. Play continues. And Knights, well, I think Jurkovic was certainly claiming it was a corner. Anyway, it goes out. 7 corners to 3, the stat you saw on your screen. As we have a sub going through here, Bentleigh Greens are going to sub off Velibor Mitrovic and bring on Brodie Taylor, former Knights player. And the Boo Boys are out in force because the Knights fans don't need a long memory. He started the season at Melbourne Knights last season and then switched over to Bentleigh in the transfer window. So on comes Brodie. And yeah, safe to say that the Knights fans have not forgotten his name.
They're letting him know.
So we're back underway after that change with Mitrovic going off. But we'll wrap up our look ahead to the rest of the weekend with your tip, please, Josip, for Kingston versus Oakley on Monday nights.
Yeah, well, it's one of those that can go anywhere, but I'm going to say Oakley are going to get their first win of the season.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say that.
Nick Tolios is watching the stream right now, the Kingston coach, so I think he might pin that to the bulletin board that Josip tipped against us.
Well, like I said, it's one that could go anywhere. They could come out and have a fantastic victory, Kingston, but I feel like 3 wins of 3 is enough for Oakley, and even if they don't get the win, I just do see them at least conjuring a point, but I'm going to say that it's going to be an Oakley win.
Well, I'm going to go the other way. I reckon Kingston might get up there. Of course, they upset Oakley in the FFA Cup last season so significantly as well to go through to round 7. Funnily enough, they were beaten by the team we're watching tonight, the Bentleigh Greens. There's a long ball here. Is driven by Ryan Scott. He's off his line, and Albano, well, I'm not sure if Svitkovic was trying to shoot from almost halfway or whether he was trying to find Albano. Either way, it's ended up in the hands of Ryan Scott, and he will be grateful for that.
Yeah, well, it's a completely new left side for Bentleigh Greens, who with their 2 substitutions have substituted their left back and their left wing, with Jacob Alexander playing left back now, and
Brody
Taylor, yeah, playing left wing. So it'll be interesting to see how this new left side works up against Jurkovic and Giselle.
Giselle, who has had quite a good game, laid off the 1 assist for the only goal so far. And as we tick towards the final 20 minutes, it remains Melbourne Knights 1, Bentleigh Greens 0. And I'll pull up the live table because it would be a result that would continue to leave the standings a bit of haves and have-nots. Bentleigh, Avondale and Knights would all be on 9 if the full-time whistle was to go right now. Hume on 7, Gully, Dandenong Thunder and South Melbourne all on 6. Pascoe Vale is drawing at the moment, they're on 5, Heidelberg on 4, and then you get into the have-nots, Port Melbourne 2, Altona and Kingston 1, Oakley and Dandy City 0. So you've got 4 points between 5 teams down at the bottom of the table, and yet, I would say to you, it is quite a close league at the moment, in spite of already a bit of a divide opening up between the top and the bottom. So that ball goes out for a goal kick. Rain has started, very gentle rain, only a few drops. Ruben has tuned in to say Sydenham Park 0, Mornington 0. Thank you, Ruben. Keep us posted on the score. And the rain getting a little bit heavier, Josip.
Yeah, looking at the rain up against the floodlights here. It's a fantastic view, actually.
Thankfully, it's coming from behind our commentary box, not towards us. I remember the FFA Cup game here between Knights and Coburn City of Western Australia was an absolute monsoon. You could barely see a thing.
Yeah, I was on the other side of the stands that time, so I didn't get affected by the rain.
Brody Taylor, then cleared away by Giselle. Another sub on the way for the Bentleigh Greens. And they continue to shuffle the pack here in their search for an equaliser. Looks like it's going to be Arnold Sayev, the German, coming on. And he'll replace Josh Baresi the next break in play. There's Uskok able to get away from Alexander. And now Watson, the shot's on! Oh, it's 2! Hamish Watson, lethal in front of the target. And one heck of an assist from Tomislav Uskok to play him in. Knights 2, Bentleigh 0.
Unbelievable scenes here at Melbourne Knights Stadium. Can you believe it? They are upsetting the leaders of the pack before round 4, and what a finish there by Hamish Watson. He's grabbed the ball onto the right-hand side and right across Ryan Scott. What a goal there by Hamish Watson, who's doubled up for today. That's his brace. Unreal scenes here at Knights Stadium. Great work by the Knights, who really needed this finish. And here comes Bentleigh Greens' final substitution of the night.
Yep, Arnold Sayev coming on. And he replaces Josh Baresi, but they have a huge mountain to climb because all the attacking threat of the first half appears to have dried up a bit here for the Bentleigh Greens. And now 2-0 down. You suspect this is a game, unless there is a dramatic change in momentum, that is going to go Knights' way. Attempted through ball down the left, cleared by Jurčić. Not sure how many fans would have had finals in mind when Mickey Colina took the reins in pre-season, but if they have 9 points to start the year, what a down payment that would be on a potential top 6 spot. Challenge here from Watson, cleared away by Franjic. Giselle. And again with the momentum flowing, Webster's got to get across, and Cvitkovic almost nicked it away from him. He's persisting, Marian Cvitkovic. Back to Ryan Scott. This is a Bentleigh team under the pump, which you rarely see at NPL level.
I'm very interested to see Cvitkovic still on the pitch. I mean, he's played a fantastic game, and he's usually the type of player that'll start the game and then be subbed off in that second, third, as you would say, sort of before the 60th minute. But we are in close to the last 20 minutes of the contest, and he's still on. And not only is he on, but he's making his presence known.
I think he's if Watson didn't have it doubled, you'd say Cvitkovic might be player of the match. Duzel intercepted here. You see Franjic getting back to his feet because Knights were in possession, and now it does go out. So looking at the Melbourne Knights bench and their remaining subs, Tom Potteridis a defender, Ivan Gergic a defender, and AJ Inia a winger. So do you envisage a sub coming anytime soon for Melbourne Knights? Or do you think they'll stick with the 11 they've got?
You've also got Attila Offley there as well.
Attila Offley as well, yes.
On bench as well, another striker there. Look, AJ Inia, who's already scored one winner this year. I don't think he'll be called into action to score a winner tonight.
As I say that, Ivan Gergic has just taken the bib off, so he's getting some instructions from Mickey Colina over on the outer side.
Yeah. I believe they'll just look at a way to keep Bentleigh at bay. I mean, if Knights can come away with this one with a clean sheet as well, that'll be a fantastic confidence boost, not just for the whole team, but for also Harry Chakarun, who, like we spoke before, with last week's blunder. So it's been positive from the Knights, and now it's all up to Bentleigh to show us what they're made of.
Yule has been quiet since about the 2-minute mark of this second half. Back to Exidius. Yule caught by Jurcic. Burim says in the comments, Bentleigh cooked. Well done, Knights. Built a decent squad.
And I believe it's going to be Grgic on for Cvitkovic. So just as we were saying.
Yeah, you called it, Josip. Thank you to Jim, who's enjoying the live coverage. Make sure you comment. We're live and interactive tonight. And you can also access the streams on Facebook and YouTube. They are both available through that platform. So the sub will go through, and it is Ivan Grgic, Knights' first sub of the game with just under 15 minutes to go.
As Cvitkovic hands the captain's armband there to Uskok.
He will take his leave. You see the Mark Viduka lounge, people even clapping behind the glass. Such has been the performance tonight from Marian Cvitkovic.
I saw Bentleigh Greens earlier in the day on their social media page. They said, make sure to get down to Knights Stadium. These games are always a cracker.
This one is delivered. In terms of the quality of the football and the competitive entertainment, the only thing it's probably missing is a Bentleigh goal just to set up a big finish here. You wouldn't put it beyond Knights to score a third and break out of sight, though. Jacob Alexander. Has Bentleigh tried to turn the tables. Has his path blocked by the sub, Gergic, making an impact straight away. And then Watson with 2 goals to his name, protecting the ball.
Well, the one thing we can't forget is we're going to get a substantial amount of stoppage time to be added on, which will give maybe an opportunity there, like you said, for either Bentleigh to make a contest of this late or Knights to run away with it.
Looks like a handball by Yule. Knights protest to no avail. And the pass is going to give them possession regardless.
Yeah, it was a poor delivery there.
Kyle says, big Bentleigh Greens fan from England. Seem to have really struggled tonight so far. Loving the stream. International audience watching on. Jurkovic throws it down the line. Watson protecting the ball. Headed out by Alexander.
Shout out to Marco Castelli, good friend of mine. I believe he's in Paris at the moment. So, like you said, a good international audience.
Very easy now to stay in touch with the NPL, that's for sure. Good to see last weekend, New South Wales also announcing that all their games will be live streamed. They don't do Friday nights in Sydney, though, Josip. I think it's probably a bit hard to travel across the town on a weeknight. Imagine if it takes John Anastasiadis 2 hours plus to get from Chadstone to Knights Stadium. It can only be even more complicated in Sydney. Imagine if you're Wollongong Wolves and you've got to go and play away to Manly on a Friday. Good luck getting there without taking a day off work, basically.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But, I'll be keeping a keen eye on their streams as well as Victoria's, of course. Great to see. It all continues tomorrow. The 2 NPL 2 feature games this week will be played on Sunday. You've got Northcote City against Murray United, so their first live stream games of the season. And you, Josip, will be behind the microphone for St Albans against Moreland Zebras. Stay with Bentleigh here as Yuel is played through the right, crossing it through the 6-yard box, and there are no green shirts there for the tap-in, and it goes behind for a corner.
Yeah, it was good work there by Ulskog, who put Yuel off just enough for Yuel's effort to not find the back of the net, and as it went on across the face of goal, Jurkovic made sure to get rid of it. But we've got a Bentleigh corner here.
Is this their road back into the game? Chakarun rises. And then a header from Gergic, now the tallest player on the pitch. Holmes. Yule in a 1-on-3. Corey Sewell, who did lose out to Valentino Yule a few times in the first half, prevails on this occasion. Tyson Holmes, trapped, wrapped up, and the ball is knocked away. Marcus says all the stadiums probably have a lockout at 9:30. Well, Saturday night is a big thing in New South Wales NPL. It's a bit like Brisbane as well, the Queensland NPL. Saturday night is the night, whereas in Melbourne, Fridays are popular with some teams. Saturday afternoon, probably a bit too popular for my liking. I think we need to have, I think actually the streaming will cause more teams to think outside the square and maybe move games to Sunday, move games to maybe even earlier. Might experiment with a midday kickoff or an 11 a.m. kickoff. I wouldn't be surprised if teams really start thinking outside the box as the season goes on when they see all the streaming. Yeah. Even tonight with the staggered kickoff, of course, Knights playing at 7:45 and Pascoe Vale at 8:15. So as we tick into the last 10 minutes, Bentleigh have got a throw. They persist, trying to find an avenue back into the game. Corey Sewell will not let them pass. And I tell you what, if Knights keep a clean sheet tonight, Josip, what a credit to this side backing up from the 2-0 defeat against Heidelberg United last weekend.
Yeah, of course. Well, Bentleigh have scored 10 goals this season, and that's just talking in 3 games. They've scored 10 goals. So for the Knights to be able to host Bentleigh and then not allow them to score, it's fantastic.
Currently got a Bentleigh player off the pitch with what you suspect is cramp. In the meantime, they continue to attack. The ball is cleared away. Looks like it's James Exidius who is currently down.
I've been keeping, though, a keen eye on the Queensland NPL. I mean, we've got Gold Coast Knights who have just been promoted into the Queensland NPL. They find themselves sitting second, and they still haven't lost a game. They've got 13 points of the available 15, and they're in a blockbuster clash on this Saturday. They're playing against Peninsula Power, who are first, and a win for the Knights will put them top of the Queensland NPL in their first ever season.
Oh, it's is that being played at the big stadium, Peninsula Power, or the little stadium?
AJ Kelly Reserve.
It's being played at the little one.
The little one.
It'll be it's a good atmosphere, but it is the little one compared to the big one up there. I've been to both.
Yeah.
You see Ewell escaping on the right side, whipping a ball high and over the head of Brodie Taylor. Cleared away by Chakarun in concert with his defence. So now Alexander drops the shoulder and he's able to evade Jurkovic. To Taylor. Low driven cross. Oh, sliced on and held onto by the keeper who was awake to the danger. And then his clearance is out because Jurkovic is down. So it's 10 versus 10. Bentleigh are going to have to make a sacrificial sub here, you suspect, because I don't think they're going to get Marko Jankovic back here as he remains down and hurt. I did incorrectly say it was... In fact, I'm pretty sure it is James Exidius because Jankovic is on his feet. I had it right to begin with.
And there's, I believe, AJ Inia getting ready to come on.
Problem for Bentleigh is they've already made all 3 subs. So
yeah.
They'll be down to 10 and there's nothing they can do about it.
Well, they had that half-time substitution where Jacob Alexander came on for Matthew Crooks, and then a 67th minute substitution. Brodie Taylor came on for Velibor Mitrovic, and then Ahmed Sue came on for Josh Baresi in the 73rd minute. Baresi was somebody who I expected to see a bit more of tonight. he played his part, but you'd expect a bit more from the talented midfielder.
So Knights do make the sub. Jean Albano, who you had the tequila chant for, is going to be coming off. And AJ Anir, hero from the 4-3, comes on. And as James Exidius walks along the sidelines, will Bentleigh be down to 10 men for the rest of the night? He goes and takes a seat on the bench, and that is a big backfire for Johnny A and Bentleigh Greens, because they are going to be down a man, and if they didn't have enough problems already chasing this deficit, well, now they have got a man disadvantage. They've still got a back four for now. With, well, no, I think they're going to go to a back three, unless Tyson Holmes is going to full-time take up centre back and push Jack Webster out to the right. Well, here we go. I've spoken too soon. Looks like the magic spray might have finally kicked in, and Exidius might be ready to come back on. You hope he's okay and he's not going to be playing through an injury that could do more damage.
Yeah, well, I don't see this match going any longer than 10 minutes. I'd expect maybe 4 minutes added on for stoppage. So even if he does play through an injury, as many players do, I hope it's not too serious for the youngster.
Long ball here. AJ near the sub, won't be able to chase it down. But, back to a point we were making a bit earlier. Sunday, you and Brunswick City coach Riccardo Marcioli will be commentating St Albans Dynamo versus the Moreland Zebras. Big game. Two teams that would fancy themselves to get promoted this year. What are you looking forward to the most about that one? At Churchill Reserve, 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it'll be a fantastic clash between the two sides. Dynamo Saints, who unfortunately in the derby against North Geelong Warriors, they lost 2-1 last week. But I'm interested and excited to meet Riccardo. Will be interesting to see his take, and he'll be faced with the task of facing the Saints.
Of course, his Brunswick team only just beat Moreland Zebras 3-2 last Friday, so he'll know all about them from having coached against them, and of course he's got St Albans coming up the week after, so perfectly sandwiched in between the two games.
That's it. It's going to be perfect for him, and it's going to be great for me as well to get his insight on Moreland and what he expects from the Saints and what will eventuate in the contest. It's always a good game between the two sides, and we'll see what happens there. But like you said, both teams will be pushing for promotion this year, but it's looking very, very interesting there in the NPL 2 West, with both Morelands and the Saints and the Warriors in the top 4 currently.
I really do think that the West is going to be super strong this year with that battle for promotion. Of course, top goes straight up, second goes into the playoff. AJ Anir, neat turn, and then a burst of speed, cutting it back, and Duzel was the man he was hoping could make a play at the ball. Can't connect. It is held onto by Ryan Scott, but it's becoming increasingly desperate for Bentleigh. They are not creating any more in this second half. Around the grounds in the FFA Cup, Point Cook 1 leads Old Scotch 0. Still waiting on an update from Sydenham versus Mornington, where at last check it was 0-0. Let me know if you've got a score there around the grounds, or if you're watching the stream from Keilor Lodge. And over at CB Smith Reserve, it is 52.5 minutes gone and still scoreless between Pascoe Vale and Port Melbourne. Here, as we tick towards full time, it looks like Josip, it's going to be a win for the Melbourne Knights unless there is a real shock from here.
Yeah, well, we won't put it past Bentleigh to be able to score 2 goals in quick succession. They did it last week down the road. No, I apologise. That was at Kingston Heath, was it? The last game against Gully?
Against Gully.
Yeah, that was at Kingston Heath.
Down a few very long roads.
Yeah,
correct?
A few very long roads. But yeah, you won't put it past them. But it's just about, here we go. It's just about the Knights keeping everything together. I mean, they've made 2 subs. They've got 1 sub left.
They're just not even taking shots, though, at the moment, Bentleigh. They're not getting into position to have a ping at Hardy Chukarun's goal. And Knights on the counter-attack may fancy their chances of picking them off. AJ Anir ran into Webster there and ahead of the ball. Watson had run offside. And now Knights are unhappy as the throw is paid Bentleigh's way. Time very much the enemy, though. Holmes. Slides it through the left. Alexander is going to meet the ball. First time cross. Oh, Ewell came in and challenged, and it was his header that went high over the bar in the end as he beat Jurcic to the ball. So, man of the match. Is it Watson for his 2 goals? Is it Cvitkovic for the way he's played? Is it Duzel? Or do you like one of the defenders if Knights do keep a clean sheet? Who are you going for, Jos?
Well, I've been very impressed with Aidan Bryce tonight. He's done a fantastic job just keeping Matt Thurtell at his bay. But I do believe it has to go down as, if we're going to talk man of the match, it's got to go to Hamish Watson, getting a brace, especially in a tough contest and an important contest like tonight. I mean, these 3 points, had you spoken to the Knights camp pre-game and said, would you take a draw, I believe they would have taken that one, especially with Dandenong City coming up next week. But to be able to get a 2-0 win, which it looks like so far, it's unreal for the Knights. But I will go down with Watson.
The stat came up before. Bentleigh 10 total shots, just the 2 on target. And so you're not going to win too many games with that sort of conversion rate of your chances. Uscock is just going to go for it from way downtown, and Ryan Scott waves it wide. And it certainly had the fans on the grandstand side fooled, because it must have looked a lot closer to the target than it did from us here in the TV tower as we tick beyond the 90. Garth De Silva, get the border. How many minutes of stoppage have we gone into here? He's raised it already and I missed it, but by my watch, it's only just gone 45 minutes in the second half.
Yeah, well, I didn't see it go up, but I will say that Uscock opportunity was better than Cvitkovic's opportunity previously.
Ryan Scott was in a much worse position for Cvitkovic's attempted long shot. Arnold Syed. Valentino Ewell against Jurcic, who has taken the honours in this second half. Really has responded well after a torrid first half defending Valentino Ewell. Now Alexander. Bentley try their luck on the left, and Alexander is halted by Ivan Gergic. Home fans continue to chant and sing for their team. It's a fun time to be a Knights fan at the moment. Looking like 3 wins out of 4 to start the NPL campaign. And after narrowly avoiding relegation 2 seasons ago and not really being a contender for quite some time, maybe now they can dare to dream that they are building something special here. Ewell. And slight challenge comes in from Franjic.
No real superstars in the team, but it's looking, they're shaping up to be a hard-working team.
Is Watson a superstar, or is he just, does he not have the name? I think his resume is a superstar's resume at NPL level. Long ball here, AJ in here. Ryan Scott has come way off his line. He's wiped out in here. Is this going to be a bitter aftertaste? Oh, it's just a yellow. The Knights bench are up in arms. They thought it was red. And even though we're 2 minutes into stoppage, they were howling for rouge for Ryan. And he survives with just a booking. AJ Neer, I think he's a very lucky boy there to only get a yellow card, given how far off his line he was, and he was nowhere near the ball.
Yeah, I believe the goalkeeper's found himself in no man's land there, and I believe he should have been sent off for that, but I feel like the referee is given the benefit of the doubt due to the scoreline, due to the time.
Oh, well, you're right. If this was 0-0, I don't know. I think the Knights bench are right to be up in arms. I like Ryan Scott as a bloke and a goalkeeper, but I think he's very, very lucky there.
Yeah.
As Peter says, red cart. Georgie says, how is that not a red? And Emil says, go Croatia. Shout out from Hobart. Thank you for tuning in, Emil. So, deep in stoppage. Free kick for Knights. 2-0 up. Big safety net. They are trying to close in on what would be arguably the most impressive of their 3 wins to start the season. Away to Oakley, home against Altona, and against the Bentleigh Greens. That really does have so much legitimacy behind it.
Yeah, but like you said, had the result been different, I feel like the aftermath of that challenge would have been different as well in terms of the bench, from the stands, from the pitch. But I do agree with the comments. Scott should have seen red there.
And so, throw in from the left side. Full time. Are we watching the start of a Melbourne Knights ascension back to contender status? They defeat the Bentleigh Greens, and they do so holding a clean sheet. There may have been a slice of luck with Bentleigh hitting the bar twice in the first half, but in the second, they closed it out emphatically, and Hamish Watson's double delivers a 2-0 result. Josip Herzog, final thoughts on this win?
Fantastic work by Mickey Cholina and the whole staff at Melbourne Knights, all the players on the pitch. Fantastic work, getting a 2-0 win against Bentleigh Greens after Bentleigh being undefeated and keeping them scoreless, the clean sheet with such attacking power. Fantastic work by the Knights, and sets them up confidence-wise perfectly for next week's thriller at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex, where Dandenong City will be hosting Melbourne Knights. The
big derby.
Yeah, the big derby between the two teams. It's going to be unreal scenes there. But like you said, could this be the start of something special here at the Knights Stadium?
Well, thank you for your company tonight. Jump over to Pascoe versus Port Melbourne. Still plenty of football to go over at CB Smith Reserve. And the rest of the weekend, of course, live streamed as well on YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the production crew tonight and Josip Herzog, my name is Teo Pellizzeri. Thank you for your company. Full time, Melbourne Knights 2, Bentleigh Greens 0.